Welcome to my private audio diary podcast. These videos are private. Unless a link is sent to you, for now, everything that is recorded and everything that is documented here will be kept private. They're not public information. So what is the point of this video, audio diary, whatnot? If you know me and if we're close, I've definitely mentioned my hobby of, keeping audio diaries and things like that. I do this because I've struggled with self-expression for a very long time, and this is kind of a way of me figuring out or practicing on how to express myself through different various kind of conversations that I initiate in these podcasts. I feel like I will be able to practice more on my my talking skills, and so on and so forth. Excuse me. That is the goal of this diary podcast. The kind of things that you will see in this podcast are conversations that really they're not, I don't think, there might be segments where I'm building up on ideas and topics. There are conversations that I might repeatedly talk about, things that occupy my mental space more than some other things. So there might be segments where there are like follow-up podcasts, but in general, this podcast is just supposed to be like a brain dump kind of thing, where I can just have conversations and express myself, my thoughts, my ideas. And along with that process, I can practice my speaking skills. I'm hoping that, a few podcasts down, like maybe a year or even 6 months from now, when I really nail down, if I continue to do this on a consistent basis, I have hopes that my conversational skills, speaking skills will improve. Another thing that you might see is I have plans on bringing a few people on this podcast. It's a private podcast. Nobody's going to really be able to see these videos, but there are certain conversations that I really, really want to have with some people in my life. I feel like it's been a norm in the friend group that I'm in right now to kind of just not really have conversations like these, deep conversations where you kind of get to know each other. And I kind of brought this up to a friend a few months ago, where I was like, our friendship is basically just... Okay, so yes, my roommate did come into the room, but we will pick up exactly where we left off. I was talking about some of the things that you are going to see on this podcast, if this was ever made public, which it probably will not be made public, but some of the things that you'll see, like I was saying earlier, are conversations that I'm going to have with friends. I have a few that I've already jotted down, and I'm already like kind of preparing the kind of conversation that I'm going to initiate with these people that I want to have conversations about, because I feel like it's important to talk to people that you love and care about, so that you can strengthen your relationship. And Andeneger, I don't want to be just another friend, if you know what I'm trying to say here. I don't want to be another person in your life, in any of my friendships. If I'm going to be friends with you, I have to know you. And that is for a lot of different reasons. I have to know you because in order for me to be myself around you, there has to be a certain level of connection that I need to have, trust that I need to build with you. And that is formulated through the time that we spend together and the conversations that we have. If we're not really having conversations, then it's hard for me to be myself around you, because socially, like, I'm not the most expressive person, but intimately, you can really see who I am through intimate conversations, through private conversations. So I don't want to be just another person in your life. If any of my friends are listening, I want to be, I want to know you. There are like literally 3 people in my life right now that I consider as friends, and I've never had this kind of desire to pursue people as much as I've had this desire to pursue these people, because truly I love them so much, because there are a lot of reasons why I have this strong feeling towards these people. And I don't want to get into that right now because this is just an introduction podcast, but we might, delve a little deeper into why I have such strong bonds with these people later on in the future. But yeah, there are 3 people that I've listed that will be coming on this podcast in the future if they want to. And another thing that you'll see on this podcast is going to be educational conversations. As I go deeper into the semester, I'm going to be learning a lot of different things. And so there are a lot of different topics that I'm going to want to talk about. So I feel like that is going to allow me to exercise a different form of talking skills, where it's not just, conversations about personal stuff, friendship stuff, these conversations will be educational, so that will help me formulate a different set of speaking skills, talking skills. And another thing would be biblical conversations. As people in my life, if you're listening, you know that I'm pursuing I feel like we're all in a way pursuing a relationship with God, and so I'm not going to expose myself too much here. I'm just going to say that, I'd like to have spiritual conversations here as well. And then I feel like that would help me prepare myself for moments where God puts me in front of people that I need to have these kinds of conversations with. So in order for God to use me to do his work, to speak the good word, to spread the good news, I need to know how to kind of formulate these thoughts. I need to have practice in these spiritual conversations, so that when there is a time where God gives me an opportunity to do so, I can use these developed skills. And so yeah, these are the kind of things that you'll be seeing on this podcast. So I'm really excited. Honestly, I feel like this is a hobby or something I can do that not only where I can practice my skills, speaking skills, talking skills, but it's a place where I could have conversations that are really important to me, build bonds that are really important to me, and even hearing myself talk, and I hope the growth that I was talking about earlier, if it does happen, I feel like seeing myself progress in my conversational skills, my speaking skills, that would be something that would motivate me and give me a little bit of confidence when it comes to public speaking and so on and so forth. Yeah, I feel like this wraps up today's introductory podcast. So if any of you are going to be joining this podcast, I'm really excited to have you. Whoever is watching, ተመልካቾች ስላዳመጣችሁኝ አመሰግናለሁ. I hope that we can, through this diary entry podcast, we can get to know each other a little bit more, and you can, whatever. If I just let myself talk, አላቆምም ማለት ነው. So እዚህ ጋር በቃለሁ. I've gotten the main messages out today.